Welcome back everyone to another episode of Time Gig Builds. This week I'm going to make this Seattle Seahawks side table for my couch in the living room. It came out with a few blemishes here and there, but overall I'm really pleased with it. It uses concrete, epoxy, wood, glass, a lot of different things. You'll see exactly how I made this thing from start to finish, so let's get started. Build. Okay guys, I just need to cut this melamine form to size. So we're gonna cut the base on this, just the rough width, then we'll rip things on the table saw. See where it goes from there. Love me, fool me, and fool me. All right, let's move it over. Move it over. We're back in the shed. We're gonna make the base out of pine just because we have a lot of 2x4s and we don't feel like running to the wood shop right now. Once we have all the 2x4s square, we can work with them. We're gonna make the actual legs and then we're gonna make the stretchers and then later we're gonna do the drawers. Then I think we're gonna stain the wood at the end, make it look really cool. Builds. Excellent, excellent. Now that we have everything nice and square, we're gonna sand everything down here just because some of these edges from the table saw blade are a little bit rough and also the lumber's really rough. So we'll sand everything down and then we'll assemble it with glue and then we'll start working with the concrete. So I cut out this stencil and I'm going to try my best to cut it out, but some of these lines are really close and I think that the concrete's going to crumble and be soft where those lines are, so I might have to make these gaps a little bigger, but I think this will work. I'm going to cut out the stencil, then I'm going to attach it to the foam, cut out the foam, and then adhere the foam to the melamine form. Mold looks good. Glass looks good. Now we just need to pour the concrete, mix it up, put the glass in there, wait a couple days. Builds. Now that the concrete is curing, we're just gonna make the shelving here. I need to cut down some 2x4s and glue them together, and then we're going to make the drawer. Originally, when I poured this concrete, I added way too much water and I didn't have enough concrete additionally to add to it so that it wasn't as wet. So I think it's going to be pretty weak, but it's just going to be a small little countertop. I don't think it's an issue. It's been about 4 days and this should have been cured already, but the thing is it was so wet and it's still kind of a little bit wet. So I'm just going to take off the mold because I think it's strong enough to take out, and then we'll let it sit for a couple more days before adding the epoxy. Then we'll start staining the actual side table. We'll get to that and then we'll add the top to it. Builds. Okay, it's nice and sunny out, so we're going to start sanding the top of this concrete to reveal some of the glass. Unfortunately, this concrete was a little too weak for the cracks, but I think the epoxy will make sure it's nice and tight. Just got to watch out for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually cracks mid-sand, but we'll see how it goes. So let's try sanding and revealing some of that glass, and then we'll see what kind of falls apart, glue it back together, and then add the epoxy. Awesome, so now it's time to attach the drawer to this thing. Then I'll add the resin, the concrete, and we'll finish this thing up. Slap the top on, call it a day. Builds. folks, that about wraps it up for this build. I hope you enjoyed. I really love this thing. I can't wait to make similar things like this in the future. Unfortunately, when I made the mold, I forgot to make the foam a mirror image of the logo. So in this case, the logo is facing the wrong direction. But in the end, I still think it turned out great. Next week, we're gonna do a cool Christmas tech one. Gig's gonna join me in that. We're gonna make this cool music playing Christmas tree thing. So remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our similar videos if you like this. We'll see you next week. Builds.